So we are here to do a little companion to our Disney Canon discussion about Big Hero 6, and we're going to talk about the pilot episode of the Big Hero 6 TV series. And I'm Rachel, and Stanford is here to talk about this with me.
Hi, Rachel.
Hi. So had you ever seen any of this show before?
I've watched the pilot, so that's the only episode that I've seen. So that and I'm really happy to talk with you about it. I'm interested to hear what your thoughts are on it too.
Yeah, and so I had never seen any of it either, so watched the pilot, and I was excited to see that they were doing this this show, and because I'm always a big fan of particularly 2D animation whenever it can get implemented and introduced and things. I was a little bit sad that they cut a show that I loved called Wander Over Yonder, which I thought was brilliant.
That was such a cool show that Disney television animation did with Craig McCracken, the creator of the Powerpuff Girls and some other just really fantastic animated series.
Yeah, because they canceled. I mean, they didn't cancel, but they finished Gravity Falls, which I loved.
Yeah,
but that was at least Alec Hirsch's ending that he wanted to do it in only 2 seasons, which I wish that he didn't. But but that was not the case for Wander Over Yonder. They wanted to have more seasons. They didn't get more seasons, and I wish that I wish that they had found a way to keep both. Because now we only have Tangled the series, and we have Big Hero 6 the series, and I kind of waited to watch this because of my experience with Tangled the series, but I was just really, really loving all of the series all of the original stuff coming from Disney Channel at the time. I mean, I love Star Wars: The Forces of Evil. I think it's brilliant. There's so many really great original stuff, and so when I saw they were canceling Wander Over Yonder, I'm like, no. I mean, I love Big Hero 6, but that was a bummer. I wish they'd been able to keep both shows. But anyways, that was my only reason for kind of being like,
Yes.
Also, have you seen the Tangled?
No, I haven't watched any. Truth be told, I don't watch a ton of TV animation, and partly just because I just haven't been enjoying them. I really like Star Wars Rebels. I think that was probably the last series that I thought was great. And I think you and I had talked about this. I've seen a handful of episodes of the new DuckTales, which I think is really fun. But I haven't watched Tangled yet, even though I know it's been going on for a bit.
Anyway, what did you think about this pilot?
Well, so I liked it in that it's picked up right where the right where the feature film ended, and in fact they kind of added a little bit of stuff around that. It's just basically that's Hero finding that he's got the chip still that Tadashi made for Baymax, and that he's going to be able to rebuild Baymax. He's got the software that's going to allow him to do it, and then for him getting started at the school or whatever. So I like that. I like the setup. I'm with you on the 2D animation. I think that's fun, and they've interpreted this wonderful Big Hero 6 world, and I think in a pretty nice way, into 2D animation that they're going to use for this series. They got back some of the same, not all, but some of the same voice talent, and so that's fun. And anyway, I think generally, I know we'll talk more about it, but generally, I thought it was fun. One thing that made me happy was when I saw the credits. Two of the creators of the series, Mark McCorkle and Robert Shuley, and I hope I'm saying his name right, are credited, and they're the guys that did the Kim Possible animated series. And which I thought Kim Possible was a blast. I thought that was a really fun show because again, I really prefer more of like an action TV series if they're and so I thought that struck a nice chord, with that show. So I was happy to see that they've got some. I think they've got some good talent working on this series.
Yeah, agreed. I also really like Kim Possible. We should maybe do that. It's not really obscure animation, but it seems like we could find a way to make it fit.
Yeah.
Because the movie, a lot of people don't know about the movie. But I really like Kim Possible as well. And so basically, this is called Baymax Returns, is the title of this pilot. And it aired in November of last year. And it basically, like you said, it kind of gives our next phase in the story with Hiro finding the chip in Baymax's hand, and he decides to kind of rebuild the skeleton. There's a new like not headmistress, but
I know that's what I was calling her too, the headmistress, but she's like the dean of the school or whatever, or the administrator of the school.
Yeah.
Right, of the department or whatever.
Yeah. Named Professor Granville is her name. And she first wants to take Hiro out of Tadashi's lab. She doesn't think that he has earned it. And so she wants him to prove his value. So he builds this skeleton of Baymax and of the inside of Baymax. And there's also sort of this crime syndicate, and Fred is trying to get the Big Hero 6 to get back together and to save the city from this crime syndicate led by a guy named Yama.
And we met Yama in the film Big Hero 6. He's that big dude in the whatever you call the track suit that runs the bot fight. And so that I thought that was fun that they brought Yama back into the narrative too.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that until you said that. Yeah, that's right. He is that guy in there.
He's that guy. Yeah.
Yeah, and so he's able to. He believes Yama is kind of tricked by him, but Yama's able to get the skeleton of Baymax, but of course he wants to have them created for nefarious purposes, not for care, and so he is and Yama has a leader named Obake to that there's a paperweight from Professor Granville that they try to steal. And anyway, so it gets kind of complicated. With
these kind of Baymax interiors that are running around or whatever, and Baymax himself.
Because Yama basically makes like kind of blackmails Hiro and says, "I'll give you back your Baymax if you get this paperweight." He does, but basically once he gets the paperweight, then he's like, "Well, you can't trust a crook," kind of an idea. So that's when they do get all of the team back together to go against them and to go against these duplicates that he's created. And we find out that the paperweight, which looks like it's kind of spiky, the paperweight.
Yeah.
But it finds out that it's got like these powers. And it's kind of like almost like nuclear, sort of like magnetic energy that it affects electric appliances and other things. And there's even a point where it's affecting a train that Aunt Cass is on.
Aunt Cass happens to be on.
Yeah. And so it's pretty good, pretty tense little scene. Pretty intimidating, I think. Villain, I think. In some ways, you could make an argument that he's, just as far as scary, that maybe he's a little bit more daunting, a little scary than Callahan. Callahan's more the emotional kind of, I don't know, just a different kind of villain.
Yeah, now you mean Yama is the villain? Yeah, Yama's a pretty formidable guy. I mean, because physically he's so big, and he's just mean. You know, he's super mean, and his minions are mean too. And
right,
he's a good villain.
Yeah, and so they're able to stop the train and save everybody, and he's able to destroy the paperweight, the rock, and. But there's still, I think there's still the duplicates out there. You still got this villain, and we don't know. I guess we haven't. I guess they just barely aired the second.
Yeah.
Or just this last week, it looks like they aired a bunch. I was just
that's some new episodes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because also, Yama is working for somebody.
Right.
And
this Obake guy.
Yeah, as you mentioned, and he's still a mystery. So we see him a little bit, but clearly he's going to be a big, I think, a formidable villain for our heroes.
So overall, I thought this was pretty good. I thought that the action was good. I thought the character work in general was good. I thought the animation looked really nice. It was different. It was kind of did its own thing, but it was in the feel of the film. My only real complaint with this pilot is I think they went a little heavy on the Fred. I could have used a little less of. We did get some more of some of the other characters, but I thought they were leaning into that humor a lot, and I was just kind of like, okay. I've had about enough of him for one episode. So I would say for me, and maybe kids just eat that up. I don't know. But so that may be, but I don't know. I got a little too much of him in this pilot. That'd be my own.
I can see that. Thing. I thought that the pilot, it was 40 something minutes, if I'm not mistaken. So basically to play over an hour, right? An hour block of TV, which I know is a standard practice, right? In television. I thought it was too long. It was like it was a 22-minute episode that they stretched out on. I didn't feel like it needed to be double length for what we learned, about it.
Yeah.
Again, maybe it could. I mean, because there was enough action and stuff, but it's not so much that. Yeah, I thought it was a little long. But big deal. I mean, again, I'm not the target audience.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think they could have toned down some of those Fred scenes and made it. Yeah, it was. I agree with you. I do. So there you go. Sort of our thoughts on the Big Hero 6 TV show. I think it has a ton of potential.
I do too. I think there's a lot of potential. It could really be just a ton of fun.
Yeah, agreed. Yep, definitely. I think I'm really curious to see where they go with it. So. There you go. That's what we just wanted to cover. If any of you have watched the show, I know they just did a bunch of new episodes. Let us know what you think of it. Do you like it? Do you think it's an improvement maybe even on the movie? Let us know or what you think. We'd love to hear in the comments section. And thanks so much for doing this little bonus.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. It was great to talk with you about this. Thank you.
Yeah. So where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Stanford Clark. And I also have a movie blog, which is moviespastandpresent.com.
Yeah, and I'll have that all in the description section. You can check it out, definitely. And you can find me, Rachel's Reviews, on iTunes and on YouTube, and at Smiling All Day Girl on all social media. So would love to hear your thoughts either on Twitter or here in the comments section about this series. So thanks so much, and we'll talk to y'all later.
Bye. Thank you.